What's good, y'all? This is LDR. I am your social provocateur and culture critic here to break it down to you guys about anything, everything. We can talk politics, we can talk sports, we can talk entertainment. I'm here for the know all. So, this is the random things that happen to you when you're in the industry. So, I have worked in entertainment marketing for 20 plus years. I'm not going to say I'm old, I am, but I've been doing this thing a long time. And in that time, I've been fortunate to work in sports, at studios. The only thing that I haven't kind of worked is music. While I was working at a studio, I will not name that studio, but a well known studio that is run by a mouse, I get an email one day through my LinkedIn. And this is about 2000, say 12, 13 ish. It's around the time Kobe ruptured his Achilles. So I think that was 13. So it was around that time, not long after he had the injury. And I get an email in my LinkedIn. And I think it's spam. I don't think it's real. Somebody who represents Kobe sends me this email saying she represents Kobe. To this day, I don't know how they came across me, who connected them, mentioned my name to them. To this day, I still really don't know. And she sends me this email saying that would I be open to having a conversation with Kobe? I think it's a joke. I really think it's a prank. I don't think it's real. But I respond, type back. I'm literally sitting in my office at work when I see the email. I respond back, let her like, yeah, I would be open. Da, 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 da. The next thing I know, she's like, oh, we're going to schedule a time for you guys to talk. Next thing I know, maybe not even a week later, I get a text message from Kobe. And he's like, hey, hi, Laura, this is Kobe. I hope it's not too late. But, I would love to set up a time to talk to you about what it is you do and how you do it. And I was like, okay. I was like, yeah, like, no, not too late. So we end up having this text banter. And I find out, like, he has a really great sense of humor because he's like, you don't sleep? Like, I was like, no, not really. He's like, you don't take sleeping pills? I was like, no. I said, no, no, no. I said, I don't take sleeping pills. He's like, I'm scared I might Marilyn myself. And he's like, Marilyn? It's like Marilyn Monroe. And he just is LOL laughing all in the text message. So we go back and forth on a text banner for a few days. He's asking me about brand development. But at this time, I've developed and worked on some very prominent bands at the place that the little mouse runs around. And so he's been meeting with people, and people are telling him how quickly they could develop a brand for him. He's like, oh, yeah, such and such said they could do that in 6 months. I was like, that's not true. This brand that, you see that's out right now, we worked on that for 18 months. He's like, I knew that was bullshit. Like, he cussed like a sailor. We end up having a phone conversation. And mind you, I had someone who does career development kind of prep me for my meeting, and she was kind of like, don't come at him in like a corporate way, because that's not why he's reaching out to you. So we end up having a phone conversation, and I'm still like, I can't believe that this is really happening, because anybody who really knows me knows how much I love, and I'm not gonna say love past him. I still love Kobe Bean Bryant, to the point, like I said, I gave him my own nickname, the Truth in the Light, because he was the truth in the light on the basketball court. And he calls me on my cell phone, private number comes up, I answer it. I say hello. He speaks. I knew immediately it was him, and it was no longer I'm on an episode of being pranked on MTV or something. And so he starts asking me questions. We're just talking, and so he's like, "How did you, start in your career in, marketing, whatever?" I was like, "Well, I've been doing this as long as back when you got drafted by the Charlotte Hornets, and Iverson had a fade." So for anybody who follows sports and knows that reference, Kobe was initially drafted by the Charlotte Hornets, and the Lakers traded Vlade Divac for the rights to Kobe Bryant, and that's how Kobe became a Laker. And Kobe and Iverson were in the same draft class. When Iverson first came in the league, he had a fade at Georgetown, coming out of Georgetown. He didn't have a cornrow. So my cousin was like very adamant about, you got to make it playful, you got to make it humorous, you got to add your personality to it. So that little riff, he appreciated, he laughed. I got to tell him, like, look, huge Laker fan. I even have a nickname for you. Told him what it was. He chuckled at that. So we move fast forward. He finally wants to meet in person. Meet in person. They take me to a conference room. And he comes in the room. And so I'm expecting other people to come in the room. And it's just the two of us, and then he locks the door. And then I had a black girl moment. And I was like, ooh, Lord, you can't say this out loud. But in my head, I was thinking like, Kobe, you should never, ever, ever again be in rooms with women with doors locked by yourself. Like, what are you doing? But I couldn't say that out loud because I didn't want to ruin my opportunity. But I'm like, bruh, why are you in rooms with women by yourself and you locking doors? Like, that's not smart. So my professional hat, I'm like, okay, we're gonna sit down, we're gonna talk about, what it is he's trying to do, what's the direction of the brand he wants to take it. But then my, auntie, black mama, black woman vibe kicked in, and I wanted to be like, when to do like this, tap on him, like, oh, sweetie, like, no, like, I don't want you in that capacity, but don't you ever, 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 ever be in rooms by yourself with women with the doors locked. Like, did you not learn from your situation in Colorado that you don't do that? So when I say it took everything inside of me to like swallow that, because I was like, if I say that out loud, that could take this a whole different direction. Either he's gonna think it's funny and appreciate it, or he's gonna be offended. So I was like, in this instance, it's probably best to say nothing. Have the meeting, went well. We didn't end up working on anything together, but I literally was privy to all of the moves that everyone ended up hearing about in his retirement that he was doing, and the deals, the production company, the book, film that he ended up winning the Oscar for, Body Armor beverage that just recently got sold, that his initial investment was maybe like a couple of million that ended up being a $3 million profit. I was aware of all of that stuff because he told me. So when I saw it happen, even though I wasn't involved in it, I was extremely happy and extremely proud of him to see the success that he was having, because in that short time that I was able to interact with him, I really got to see how smart he was. A very intelligent individual, very inquisitive. He asked questions if it was something that he was not familiar with. He didn't have a problem asking someone else who might have that knowledge, who, he had to learn from. And so I think that was like the biggest thing that I took away from my interaction with him, is he was never afraid to reach out to someone he might not know, but someone who he knew something more than he did, and asked for information. And so I took it as a huge honor that he saw something in me, and to this day I still really don't know how he found me. I did ask him, he mentioned someone's name that I don't even know, but somehow universe, God, whatever you believe in, decided for it to be aligned, that we were supposed to interact, and for him to see a value in me that I will honestly say that the place I was working for at the time didn't see a value in me like he did. And so when he passed, that was something that it hurt, just like it did for everyone else around the world, especially in the city, and of course for all the families that were intimately affected. But the fact that I had a piece and I had a moment in time with Kobe, and I got to see a side of him that not a lot of people saw, and I was able to have those interactions, is something that I will always cherish and be thankful for. May you rest in peace, Kobe Bean, aka the Truth in the Light Bryant.